Alright, time to do a slightly proper Daniel guide. Hello YouTube, today we'll be doing the Daniel guide, the character that is the king of damage per screenshot right now. One of the discussion I heard was like, you just let Daniel slow because your support can generate more skill pool for him to do more damage. But like, you can have all your DPS at 134 speed and all your healer support buffers above 140 speed, right? I understand that is a very forehead answer, but like optimally I prefer that. That's also asking people to just get a speed boots forehead. I can understand the appeal of people running pure attack boots on Daniel because it's easier to build. However, the damage difference between attack boots and speed boots generally would not be too far apart, mainly because you're almost permanently running him with an attack buffer, right? Mainly Tingyun, I would say. Tingyun is arguably his best support because an attack buff and regenerate his ult, right? That's perfect. That's all he needs, really. And she doesn't use a lot of skill points as well, so it's good for him, right? Dan Heng doesn't necessarily have an issue that he uses a lot of skill points per turn. It also gives you the option to burn all your skill point on one turn if you so wishes, right? Because depending on the team comp, on some other DPS comp, you would not be using all your skill point in one turn or consistently, but you could probably make a better team if that happens, right? Like, there's goods and bads about him, right? His damage is good. I would say a lot of people are very used to seeing a hyper carry simulated universe run, I would say, right? I would say that for most 5 stars in this game, one skill point nets them around 12k to 17k damage, or maybe 20k. For Daniel, it feels like he does around like 60k single target or 70k single target with 3 skill point, which does make him on the upper end of DPS, and I like it that way. The only thing I don't like is his multiple skill point usage alone isn't the only reason why he's strong. This is talent level 6, right? So I maxed this out. 1 skill point, 2 skill point, 3 skill point. It's 260, 380, and 500. 500 with 3 skill point, if you were to, I don't know, compare it to like another character, I suppose like here, that's like 220, so times 3 would be like 680, right? The reason why that this thing is strong is not because of his damage numbers alone. It's the sheer amount of fucking stats he gets elsewhere, right? So his talent, after each hit dealt during an attack, he gets a 1 stack of Righteous Heart. Each stack gives him 8.7% more damage bonus. This can stack up 6 times. It increases his imaginary damage basically, right? So that's the first one. And the second one is when he uses skill, he gets crit damage. He gets so much free stats, right? And his traces also gives him crit rate. So does his Lightcone. The reason why he's good is not because of this alone. It's because of all the random fucking bonus stats he gets. He gets so much bonus stat. It's concerning. He gets around 40 crit damage for free at talent level 8. Around 40 as well damage bonus. So that's another free elemental orb, right? It's 40 elemental damage as well, which kind of makes it so that getting 10% more imaginary damage on him if you have the 2-piece set wouldn't affect your damage too much, but it does still increase your damage. His technique, you use his technique and then you enter a state and you hit an enemy and you do damage and gain 1 stack of the fucking names of these things, man. Jesus Christ. You get 1 stack of your ult, right? So Dan Heng, you use his skill. The more time you use skill point, the more crit damage you get and the more damage you deal. Your talent, the more hits you do during your basic attack, the more damage you do, even on your ult, right? So it's like your basic attack hits 7 times, so you can easily max this out. So the last hit does maximum damage. Basically like that, yeah? The more skill point he uses, the more damage he does, right? Unga bunga, yeah? Pressing ult allows you to use 2 skill points for free, essentially. You can hold up to 3, yeah? That's a basic ability. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how he plays at this point, right? If you're running 0 speed boots, you're running attack boots on Daniel, your plan is that you nuke the enemy as fast as possible, because like the next turn or the next few soul turn, you have to take time to recover, right? So you nuke, recover, and then nuke, recover, and then nuke, right? That's a solid playstyle, I would say. But generally, I like to build him speed just because you can get attack from buffers anyway. So I kind of prefer him to just, you know, be able to hold his own alone and do his own thing. So I like to run speed boots. His traces, you roll for basic attack first, and then skill, talent, and then ultimate. Yeah. For the big nodes, none of the big nodes really matter except this one. This gives you 24 bonus critical damage if you're hitting enemy that is weak to imaginary. I would still unlock all the nodes though, just to get the crit rate. You get like 12 critical rate, and you get the imaginary damage boost as well, right? The only trace that matters is really this one, I suppose. For Lightcone, let's obviously talk about his 5-star Lightcone. His 5-star Lightcone gives 18 crit rate, 36% attack, and 12% regen because he can be stacked twice. This attack affects your base attack, so generally this will give you 480 attack always. At superimpose 1, at superimpose higher, it gives you more, right? But this is essentially 18 crit rate, 480 attack, and 12% regen. 12% energy regen allows him to ult every 3 turns. Exactly. They made the problem and they solved the solution because his ult costs 140 instead of 120 like everyone else. No way. But yeah, this is a really good Lightcone for him. He gets crit rate, attack, and regen, right? And the regen is exactly for the breakpoint. But if you want to be nasty and push for 136 regen, I'm kind of tempted to. You can kind of push a 2-turn ult. Granted, you get 1 kill or you get hit during that rotation. Then you can get a 2-turn ult. But, you know, regen is always harder to build. Next is the other Lightcone, right? Something irreplaceable, gives you attack, heals you when you get hit, and after you get hit, you get a bonus damage for 1 turn. Unreachable Side gives you crit rate, increases your HP, and when you are attacked, you gain bonus damage until you attack. These 2 Lightcones seemingly is not good for a lot of destruction character until Lynx comes out. She has a heal, a cleanse, and an aggro increase, as well as a heal over time, right? So Lynx can make any destruction character use any of these Lightcone realistically. Oh yeah, Lynx also increased max HP. I forgot about that. But yeah, other than that, I would go for Bright Into the Sun. And unironically, this Lightcone isn't bad because he doesn't get free attack percentage on his traces like other DPS does. Other DPS gets free attack, free crit rate or something, right? Daniel gets crit rate and imaginary damage. So the attack percentage is viable for him. And it gives a lot of attack percentage as well. So if you really want to, you can build like, I don't know, regen set on the rope if you want to, yeah? But once again, that's quite harder to build. So I would just stick with attack if it's easier for you. Next is for 4-star. Bulls welcome you. Same thing. I guess it gives you attack. You will only get 2 stack though instead of 3 stacks. So you only get like 48% attack or 24% attack total, which is not too strong because your skill itself does not do damage, only basic attack and ult. So it's not too good for him. Secret Vow is always good because it's a non-conditional 20% damage up. However, it isn't as good on Daniel because as we discussed before, he already gets a lot of free damage bonus already. He doesn't realistically need to push his damage bonus even higher, but it still benefits him. But it doesn't benefit him as much as other character does, right? Because he already has a lot. Under the Blue Sky, if you get a kill, you get crit rate. I don't like it too much. Wolf Walk Time, this is mainly for hook right now. Increase attack and increase damage with burn or bleed, and also applies to that damage over time. 3-star, Collapsing Sky is fine for a 3-star if you're starting out. It does give you damage bonus, but you already got a lot of damage bonus, so you could potentially not need this. But hey, it's a 3-star, so if you have it, you can use it, right? That's for Lightcone, yeah? Next is for Relic. Realistically, let's talk about stats again. You can run attack boots technically on Daniel, right? If that playstyle makes you happy and you do a lot of damage in 1 hit and you have to recover a turn after, maybe that's also fine, right? I just don't like having super low speed because like having super low speed makes you play on the enemy rules. Basically, they move faster, they can do more shit, they can stun, they can do other stuff to you, right? I like to have enough speed on my DPS so that they can like catch themselves up, and then maybe my supports can be ridiculously fast because that's the only real stat they need, yeah? So I like having enough speed on my DPS for them to be self-sufficient, and then the rest I just build damage, right? But a pure attack Daniel would also work. I can see it's working. I can also see where it won't work. That's all. E1 Bronya lets Daniel be slow. Yeah, I mean, E1 Bronya lets any character be slow. So is having a really good Asta. What do you mean? What do you mean? So once again, for boots, you want to run speed or attack. For body piece, obviously crit damage or crit rate. I would go for critical rate if you have his own light cone. You get 12% crit rate from traces, 18 from light cones, so that's already 30. So it's a lot. Orb, imaginary damage, so obviously. Rope is attack percentage, almost mandatory, I would say. I think for this character specifically, regen rope might be a little bit hard to build since he doesn't get free attack percentage from his traces as well, or from any of his abilities, right? Stat focus, I would go for crit damage, crit rate, attack, and damage bonus. Yeah, obviously speed when possible. My current Daniel build is the attack looks low, but I got the light cone, so that gives me 480 attack, so I push up to 2800 attack anyways, and plus a buffer that'll push me up to like maybe 3.5k. That should be more than enough. Speed is 135, 81 crit rate, 180 crit damage, 30 break effect, but that's kind of not too useful for imaginary character, and 61 imaginary damage, right? With my passive, that'll be 100 imaginary damage and 220 crit damage, right? So that should be more than enough for like normal stat builds. So that's my current Daniel build. For Teamcomps, we lightly touch on it. In my opinion, the current best team for him would be himself, Lunae, Tingyun, and Pella. Tingyun, because she only needs to use one skill point every 3 turns. She has an attack buff and she has a regen and a damage increase. Pella only needs to ever basic attack and press her ult, so she's pretty skill point efficient. And also, your ult is AoE, Dan Hung can do damage in AoE, so it's pretty useful. Luocha has a healing that is automatically triggered, and he can also remove debuff, so Pella never really needs to press her E, right? So in this team, you can consistently use 3 skill point on Mr. Daniel every single turn. Yeah, I'm gonna call him Daniel because I think it's funny. Because like I see other people call him Vibrator Lunae for some reason. I'm just gonna call him Daniel. It's just easier. I like Yukong. I guess Yukong will take the place of Tingyun, and it can work. I would say it's a little bit more skill point inefficient though compared to Tingyun, but it can work. You do get a higher damage number, but you do get less ultimate, which means less skill point efficient, right? But it does work. If you want the other version, just run Daniel, Luocha, another healer, plus Tingyun, and that should be a comfortable auto battle team comp. Luocha kind of enables him because like if you have to use other healer and they have to use their skill point, that's kind of bad, right? However, if you have like really high energy regeneration on your healer, on Natasha or on Link's ult does also, you know, cleanse debuff. So if you have like really good regen on them, you can kind of get away with them instead of Luocha. So you have like a 0 skill point healer. That also works. But yeah, let's do a quick MOC run, I suppose. Should I do an MOC run with a Yukong this time? Let's run Daniel, Lul, Yukong, and I don't know, Sampo. Is that fine? Bro, put Silverwolf? Why? Why? I don't really run hyper carry comp with like triple buffer shit because I feel like that doesn't really showcase character performance in the way I like it. Most of my character builds are E0 or E1 except Himiko again because, you know, Himiko's a 4-star I would consider, so having Eidolon on her is perfectly normal. So this team is gonna be fun. Flashbang, you do this, and I guess I start with Daniel. Bro really likes his mommy team. What's the point beating the game if you don't beat the game with the character you like? It feels truly different hitting people with an iron bat as Stella, as physical MC, and then beating MOC. It truly feels good. Alright, this should be like normal damage, right? Yeah, for 3 skill points. Alright, it's time for Path of Harm. I will harm you! 1, 2, 3!
Awaken the world-cleansing dragon.
1, 2, 3. Wee. Path of Harm.
The wind from the boat.
Heaven's surge. Break.
Path of Harm. Yay. 1, 2, 3.
Surge. Rise. Merciful Medicus. The dead return.
How does that feel?
Dominated.
See you later.
Ow, that hurt.
Do not fret. World-cleansing dragon. A miracle.
Oh, Yukong is gonna die. Bro, the targeting. The Foxian targeting. We had a destruction character. The fucking Foxian targeting.
Awaken the world-cleansing dragon.
You can't.
From the boat!
Break.
Not so fast. How does that feel?
Bro, stop dominating him.
Bloom. I owe you one.
Bro, are they targeting my squishiest character or something? What the hell?
Dead return.
Are they targeting my squishiest character or some shit?
To betray my customers, I charge extra.
Rise.
Oh, don't one-shot him. He's dead. Oh! Who do I keep alive? No one. It's time to do damage.
Break. Awaken the world-cleansing
More
dragon.
damage! More damage! F
The wind is
of harm!
from the boat!
The dead return.
Boats from a boat? It's boats from the blue. Right? That's what Yukong says. Boats from the blue.
Spirit never
Oh,
dies.
1 HP. Yukong. No buffs. Yeah, I didn't have my second turn there on my Yukong, so no damage as well. Okay, that seems like a comfy enough showcase, right? I ran a team that I didn't recommend, but I just kind of want to run a team that doesn't necessarily run like Bronya Tingyun and then like Daniel IL does 300 billion damage. I kind of don't want to run those teams. I just kind of just want to run a team where like, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is like respectable damage, right? So yeah. All right, that'll be enough for today's recording. Goodbye, chat.